大家好，早上好，中午好，还有晚上好。我要感谢你的空闲，我很高兴和你在一起。I would love to thank you for accepting my invitation to participate in WhatsApp in China Summit, the General Manager of Lisbon office from Beijing Capital Airlines. Today, I have the honor of welcoming Dr. Carlos here. I will start by asking you, who is Carlos?
Olá, bom dia, boa tarde, or boa noite.
What a
It's my
surprise.
pleasure yeah, to accept the interview. And I'm Portugal from Shandong province, which is located in the east coast of China. And I have been working in Europe for almost 6 years. Before I came to Lisbon, I worked in Madrid for almost 1 year and as the general manager in the local office of Beijing Capital Airlines. I like traveling and experiencing new things.
Nice. How did the possibility of working in Portugal come about?
Because the relationship between Portugal and China has become increasingly close. Beijing Capital Airlines decided to launch the first capital, which is Beijing, to capital Lisbon flight in 2017. At that time, as I had the experience of working in Europe, and this route was very important for Beijing Capital Airlines. So I was sent to Portugal to lead the Lisbon office.
So are you living here in Portugal, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about how do you find a language, a Portuguese language? Easy or difficult compared with the Chinese language?
For Portuguese, eu estudar. For me, the language is quite different from Mandarin or English, especially the pronunciation is very difficult for me. I still remember once my colleague told me in the very beginning, even the same letter in the same word is pronounced in a different way, such as the letter O in aeroporto. So it's a little bit difficult for me.
语法太难了，也太难了，语法。
I still need to learn.
The grammar is difficult, yes.
Yeah.
What is the Beijing Capital Airlines?
Beijing Capital Airlines was jointly funded by the Beijing municipal government and HNA Aviation Group, which was in the year 2010. At present, it has a fleet comprised of 87 Airbus aircraft, and the company is main operating based in Beijing Daxing International Airport, which is the new airport, and has established bases in Haikou, Sanya, Hangzhou, Xi'an, Lijiang, Qingdao, Nanjing, Guangzhou, Shenyang, and Chongqing, several cities in China. And Beijing Capital Airlines operates 128 domestic routes and 2 international routes, which is Portugal and also UK, guaranteeing more than 50 million inbound and outbound passengers annually. Beijing Capital Airlines is the only airlines which was flying between Portugal and China, and we have opened the first directly flight in August 2017. And we are serving to Schengen, and we are serving to strengthen the bridge between both countries.
So why Portuguese should select using your company instead another to visit China?
Actually, as the only company flying directly between Portugal and China, we understand that the market will, and we have a lot of knowledge regarding the experience of Portuguese travelers in China and also Chinese travelers in Portugal. We feel that we can give the best service and help in the process of bringing Portuguese-speaking passengers to China.
Beijing Capital Airlines has Portuguese people in its team.
Yes, definitely. On land, we have 1 Portuguese staff in Lisbon that previously also worked in our headquarters in Beijing. On air, we also have several Portuguese pilots and cabin crews that were recruiting, which was hired since the very beginning when they first started flying to Portugal in order to provide the best possible service to our Portuguese-speaking passengers.
What you are looking for Portuguese to join your team?
Actually, we are looking for the dynamic people who can adapt well, know the Chinese market and way of working. It's not easy, and also bring their Portuguese experience and knowledge to the team, so we can grow together and improve our service.
And should they know how to speak Chinese?
And not must, but I think we prefer the people who can speak Chinese.
Yes, of course. Tell me about China. What is the busiest airport in China?
Actually, China is a very big country with 248 civil airports just in mainland China. Pre-pandemic, the business airport in China was Beijing Capital Airlines, Shanghai Pudong Airport, and Guangzhou Baiyun Airport. After the pandemic hit, many flights to Beijing and Shanghai were diverted to other cities in order to better manage the passengers flow. So in 2021, the busiest airport was Guangzhou Baiyun Airport, Chengdu Shuangliu Airport, and Shenzhen Bao'an Airport. This three is top three.
We just spoke about that, but I'd like to question again, because you know that the Portuguese have the idea that Portugal is a long way from China, so they prefer the direct connections. And you did this, and you will do it. How many flights per week does Beijing Capital Airlines have from Portugal to China?
Currently, we operate this flight from Lisbon to Hangzhou once per week, which is on Saturdays. However, we plan to increase our operation as soon as the market allows. Before the pandemic, actually, we have 3 per week.
I'm anxious to start to visit China again. And are they direct flights?
Yeah, the flight was from Lisbon to Hangzhou. Yeah, it's a direct flight, and it's departure from Lisbon at 12:50 on Saturdays and arrive in Hangzhou at 7 a.m. on Sundays.
It's a nice timetables to fly. Very nice to go, because we arrive China and we can relax.
Yeah, that's true.
Or start working.
Yeah, also you can have a lot of connection flight if without quarantine.
Are your airline tickets competitively priced?
Actually, the pandemic radically changed the panorama of international flight to China. The pricing also reflected this pattern. And currently, the market is changing very rapidly, and we are also following the pricing trends to give a better price to all the passengers.
As a general manager in Lisbon office, what plans do you have to capture more Portuguese markets?
Currently, we are somewhat limited since China is not opening to international tourists yet, which means the largest number of Portuguese travelers to China and students and workers on business trips. When the international tourism opens, we hope to promote China as a tourism destination. China is a very large country with many different interesting things to visit and to try, from the desert of Inner Mongolia to the rice fields in Yunnan, and the technology focused in Shenzhen and the beautiful seaside in Hainan. There are lots of beautiful attractives for Portuguese tourism to visit.
China is a huge country with very beautiful places to visit. I love it.
Yeah.
All of China is beautiful. Guilin and the way from Guilin to Yangshuo is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places to do. I'd like to visit
a lot of choice. Yeah.
What do you like most about Portugal?
Definitely the people here. This is the people here are optimistic, cheerful, and helpful. There are many people who have helped me a lot since the very beginning that I arrived in Portugal, like Elsa, Bernardo, Lehman, and so on. And meanwhile, the weather and food are also amazing.
Yes. There is. The fish is very good. Did you taste it?
Yeah, fish, seafood, Portuguese food also very lovely, similar to Chinese one.
Can you tell us what is the importance of knowing how to speak Mandarin in these days?
You know, China is not only one of the biggest economics in the world, but also a country with a very ancient history and culture. Speaking Mandarin can open the doors to many new opportunities and existing challenges, and also teach you a different way of thinking the word. Learning Mandarin is not just learning a language, but also learning a new culture, philosophy, and way of living.
Okay, Chen, it was a pleasure to speak with you. I hope that you live here in Lisbon for a long time when you have a great life here, because Portugal is a very nice place also to live. That we have come to the end once again. Thank you very much for your availability. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Hope you can fly with us one day.
Okay, I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, if you fly, let me know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.